When Severance dropped 3 years ago, who would have thought that a mystery box show about splitting your personality into two different types, an innie and an outie, would be as critically acclaimed as it was from fans and people in the industry themselves? The simple concept of being more productive at work if you did not have the stress of what's going on in your outside world is something that we can all relate to. How many times have you gone to work and had a problem outside of work and it reflected the work that you put in, or went home from work and took that with you and messed up some type of relationship you had in your real world? By exploring this simple concept, Severance became a smash hit in the industry and amongst all the fans. But 3 years is a long time, and being off the air, would it help or hurt the momentum that this show had picked up with fans across the board? In these videos, I will break down, recap, and give you all my theories about what's really going on in this severed world. So hit that thumbs up and subscribe to the channel if you want more videos like that. Let's get into Severance, Season 2, Episode 1. The episode opens up by reminding us of the pivotal moment when Mark S., Helly R., and Irving B. were interrupted by Mr. Milchek, who burst through the security door and tackled Dylan G., abruptly ending their brief experience in the real world. However, the innies perceive time differently than we do in this world. Although Milchek insists that 5 months have passed since the innie staged their rebellion, it feels like only mere moments to them. As Mark discovers that the wellness has vanished like a glitch in the Matrix, Mark heads to macro data refinement. Now, instead of reuniting with all of his people, we see the new people he is supposed to work with introduced in this scene: Gwendolyn Y., Dario R., and Mark W. Now, Gwendolyn wants to know all about life above ground, and she keeps talking to Mark, trying to get him to answer questions about the sky and the air. Dario, on the other hand, is preoccupied finding ink for his pen, while Mark W. is the one who coins the term milkshake for Mr. Milchek. Not a nickname that I would want, but I ain't mad at that nickname for him. Now, Gwendolyn and Mark come from a more advanced building. We know this because it features animatronic Egans. And it also appears that Lumon might have expanded their Severed project just a bit too quickly, and people are increasingly reluctant to undergo this procedure. And due to that fact, they may have to shut down some operations. First crazy thing I picked up on is Dario, and I think that this man's accent is Italian, and he says that the Egans in his wing were brooms and the elevator was a rope. Now, I don't know how they got in and out of this building if they didn't have elevators, all they had was a rope, and that they didn't have any tech whatsoever where he's from. And how far has Lumon actually expanded? You can also see that he has an award head just like Mark's holographic cube, but his is a block of wood just with his face carved into it. Now, these new cast of characters have form of a team build, some type of getting to know each other by playing the ball game. And it's this point where we meet the new character, who I think is going to be extremely important going forward, Miss Wong. And this chick is very young. She is basically the new Milchek, but she's extremely young. Now, fun fact is that the actress playing this role is really 18 years old, but we can see they are not playing her as an 18-year-old. Later in the episode, Dylan says that he thinks that she's about 8 years old, and why would an 8-year-old be severed in this work environment? And I don't think it's a coincidence that when looking at this girl, he flashes back to his wife, who's supposed to be dead, but if he did have some sort of child, you would think that the child will look exactly like this girl. But let's continue. At the end of the episode, we see Mark's computer does flash a picture of Miss Casey. Now, when we look at this picture, we can see on top, it does say Cold Harbor. Harbor means to hide or to shelter, and that could be what's happening to her because she's supposed to be dead on the outside world. Which brings us to these 4 bins: woe, dread, frolic, malice. And I do believe that these are personality traits, and not just any personality traits of the person who started this whole thing himself, and that they're being used to make clones of people, and that this young girl might be one of these clones. Using the DNA of Mark and his wife, and they're programming people's memories, or she could just be a straight up robot. You let me know what you think in the comment. Mark is also shown this propaganda piece saying that how they are the whistleblowers and how that they are heroes outside of this. And it's obviously photoshopped, poorly done photoshopped. Another fact that struck me to be odd is that it said that Lumon is supposed to be in 206 countries, but I think that it's recognized that there are only 195 countries, unless you're talking about the Olympics, and the Olympics have 206 committees, which means 206 countries can compete in the Olympics. They have them standing inside of this car, and this is actually JFK's ticker tape parade, and we could see that this is from the Keir Chronicles, which would be a propaganda paper for Keir. After being asked to see his old people and being denied constantly, Mark attempts a bit of sabotage by leaving a note inside of a jacket pocket, but when he gets back, supposedly from going home, but they don't show us any of that for some reason like they used to. When Mark comes back, he is confronted by everybody, and they found the letter and said that he even put it in his own handwriting. Now, this could have just been a ploy by Mark, because we see that he runs out and runs into Milchek's office and tries to talk to the people in control. And since he tried to contact the board, it seems that Mark was supposed to be fired, but that's not what happens. We see Mark come back, and when he does come back, all of his old buddies are with him. And immediately before he sees them, he sees a painting called Keir Pardons His Betrayers. When we look at this painting, we can see Keir with a sword in his hand, and it looks like that their upper torsos have been, shall I say, severed. Now, when the team forms up again like Voltron, I guess they're trying to make us believe like these 20 minutes, 30 minutes that we watched really didn't happen, and all these people that Mark met really weren't there, but we do see the statue get put in the drawer at the end, so we know that those people truly do exist, and we also see the young lady again. This time she's in a different position, but they take him inside the new break room, and when they're inside of this break room, they show the propaganda film that they said they're going to show to all new employees about their death-defying defiance of Severance, and how that they stuck up to Lumon, and how Lumon is making improvements so that this never happens again, and they're going to allow a lot more things to happen to make all of their employees better. Now, when they all tell each other what they saw, we know one person, Helly, is the one who lies about what she saw when she was out. But I would think that it would be because she doesn't want to give away who she is. She still wants them to trust them. And if she did tell them exactly who she was, would they actually really trust her the way they trust her right now? I do not think she's some sort of double agent. Now, they're all given the choice that if they want to leave, they can. But if they want to stay, they can. And I don't think they ever left. I don't think they have the ability to leave anymore. I think that's why they did not show them leave at all during this episode. I think they are all here. They're going to be forced to be here, and they're never, ever going to leave and go into the outside world again. That's my theory, but you tell me what you think in the comment section. I'll do a live stream and get a lot more in-depth about this episode. Just wanted to get this up there for you, but again, hit that thumbs up button, subscribe to the channel, and hit that notification icon so you can call in during the live stream. And you know who it is. Peace and stay sexy.